In this video, we're going to be talking about another method of solving a system of equations, and this method is called substitution. So our first problem here, let's talk about solve by graphing, which we've already covered. So the first equation is y equals -3. That only has one letter, so I'm thinking hoi. And so H tells me horizontal line. So I'm going to go down to -3. And I'm going to put a dot. And then I'm going to draw a horizontal line through that. The other equation, I have to rewrite this into slope-intercept form. So the first thing I'm going to do is move my 3x over. And when I move 3x over, it has to become a negative. Get rid of the 4 in front of the y, so divide it. And I get y equals -3/4 x plus 3. So graph my y-intercept first, which is 3. And then my slope is down 3, right 4, down 3, right 4. And then I'm going to draw a line. And then you're going to notice that the lines will intersect right here. And this point is 8, -3. Now, what if you tried our new method? So instead of solve by graphing, what if we tried substitution? So for substitution, you're going to notice the first equation says y equals -3. So they're telling you the answer for y. So your job is to take -3 and plug it in or substitute it in to the other equation for the letter y. So 3x plus 4, sub in what y is, which is -3, equals 12. So do your multiplication. 4 times -3 is -12. Add your 12 over. So 3x equals 24. Divide by 3, so x equals 8. And then they already tell me the answer for y. They tell me that y equals -3. So I also have the ordered pair 8, -3. So solve by graphing and solve using substitution will give you the exact same answer. Right, so let's just go practice substitution some more, since that's our new one. So on the first one, you want to identify which equation says x equals or y equals. And on our example A, hopefully everybody says the first one says y equals. So I just put a little star next to that. So the first equation must be substituted into the second equation. So I circle what y equals on the top. So 6x plus 5, circle that. And then I draw a little arrow saying which letter am I going to place it in for? Am I going to place it in for x or y in the other equation? And hopefully everybody says y, because out here it says y equals. So on the bottom equation, I have 3x minus 8, substitute in 6x plus 5, and I still have equals 50. Now, once you've substituted it in, if you end up with two different variables in this row, then that means you plugged it in for the wrong letter. Because if you notice, I have a 3x and a 6x. Those are both x's. If you have an x and a y, that means you've made a mistake. So now let's go ahead and distribute. So 3x minus 48x minus 40 equals 50. Combine like terms, so you get -45x minus 40 equals 50. Add your 40 over, so -45x equals 90. Divide by negative 45, and you get x equals negative 2. But remember, don't stop there because you have to have an answer for x and for y. So for y, what I'm going to do is I'm going to substitute my answer for x into either one of the original equations. I'm just going to pick our top one that we starred. So y equals 6x plus 5. But instead of x, I'm now going to substitute in a negative 2 for x. So y equals 6 times negative 2, which is negative 12 plus 5, which gives me y equals negative 7. And then remember to write your answer as x comma y, so negative 2 comma negative 7. So let's go try it over again. On B, you're going to notice both equations say y equals. So I'm just going to choose to take the bottom one and plug it into the top one for the letter y. So it'll look like this. Negative 6x minus 3 equals negative x plus 2. So now I'm going to put my x's on the same side. So I'm going to add x. So negative 5x minus 3 equals 2. Then I'm going to add 3 over. So negative 5x equals 5. And if I divide, I get x to equal negative 1. So now I'm going to go substitute that in. I'm going to choose the bottom one. So y equals negative 6. Substitute in negative 1 for x minus 3. So y equals positive 6 minus 3, which gives me the answer for y to be 3. So final answer, x comma y, negative 1 comma 3. On the next one, the top equation says y equals. So take the top and plug it into the bottom. And make sure you plug it in for the letter y. So 6x minus 2, insert 3x plus 1 equals negative 2. Distribute. So 6x minus 2 equals negative 2. When you combine your like terms, you get 0x, which means x does not really exist. So you just get negative 2 equals negative 2. Since there's no variable left, that means it's either going to be no solution or infinitely many solutions. What I have left is true, so the answer is infinitely many solutions. On the last one, the bottom one says x equals, so I'm going to take the bottom information and plug it in for x on the top one. Now be careful because on the top one, do you see that negative in front of x? Don't lose it. So keep that negative and then insert what x equals, which is 5y minus 4 plus 5y equals negative 4. Distribute your negative sign. So negative 5y plus 4 plus 5y equals negative 4. Combine like terms and my y's go away. So I got 4 equals negative 4. That is false. So the answer is no solution. Okay, now you're up to bat. So please pause the video and try these 4 by yourself. Okay, hopefully you checked these and you're doing okay. If you have any questions, make sure you're writing down what the questions are so that you could ask me when you see me next. On to the back side. For this one, we're going to talk about a few word problems. So it says, Nate starts a lawn mowing business. In his business, he has expenses and revenues. His expenses are the cost of the lawnmower and gas. His revenue is $25 per yard. At what point will Nate's revenue exceed his expenses? So we're talking about two things. We've got his expenses and we've got his revenue. So let's start with the expenses. So we have y equals, on his expenses, if you look over at the picture, it talks about gas. And for gas, do you see that it says it takes $2 per yard? So that one is your slope because that's repeated over and over. And then the cost of the lawnmower is the starting point because that's how much you got to fork out at the beginning. So plus 200. Now for the revenue is just y equals, and each yard that he mows, he gets paid $25. So 25 is going to represent your slope. This one does not have a y-intercept because it's just $25 a yard. So you just have the equation y equals 25x. So now let's go ahead and start substitution. I'm going to choose to take the bottom one and plug it into the top one for y. So 25x equals 2x plus 200. Move your 2x over and subtract it. So 23x equals 200. Divide that and you get x equals 8.7. But you can't do 0.7 of a yard, so we're going to have to go ahead and round that up and say he would have to mow 9 lawns. Okay, pause, try this one by yourself. Okay, hopefully you got the correct answer. And then here at the bottom, I would want you to try these 3 questions on your own, and we will go over the answers when I see you in class. Thanks.